Ready for another MPG test drive? This week's victim is a 2017 Kia Niro EX Hybrid. I've been in this for a week and the numbers have been excellent. So far, I'm through half a tank and it's averaging 50.8 miles per gallon. It's extraordinary. It's telling me that I've got 239 miles of range left, and I don't doubt it. I spent a lot of time in this so far. A lot of miles driven. Still got some more to go. It's going back tomorrow. But right now, we're going to do our patented, well, not really patented. We're going to do our infamous backroad small town stunt drive to see how many miles per gallon we can squeak out of this. You heard the engine run there for a while, right? I was just sitting here idling. Put it in drive. Engine shut off. Let's roll up to the stop sign. And when we do, I will reset the meter. And hey ho, let's go. Kicking the engine in right off the bat because the battery is kind of low. I've reset the eco meter. And here we go. I'll accelerate up to speed and then we'll get into a coast situation like we normally do. There we go. Nice clean gauges on this. Different from what you'll see in most other hybrids. Charge eco power. Really bright colors. And over here you've got the more common display. Right with your battery and your electric motor. And if you hear that beeping, that's me creeping over the line on the right. There is lane departure warning in here. A lot of great safety features in this car. Okay, now I am off the throttle and we are in a coast. You can see we're starting out pretty low. The battery is lower than where I usually start out. Only got about 4 nuggets. So we're starting at a bit of a disadvantage. But the great thing is that there's a hill down here right off the bat where we regenerate a lot of electricity, so we'll catch up. I'll get rid of this. Parking ticket. I was at Pocono this weekend for the NASCAR race. Courtesy of my friends at American Ethanol. Amazing experience. Absolutely amazing experience. Shot a video there. Different kind of video. Really different kind of video. Not what you would expect from a NASCAR track. So keep an eye on the channel. That will not be in 360. It's conventional video. Okay, now we're on to the back road. Hear the engine kick in. Now I'm going to coast up to the stop here. You can never trust these meters when you first start out. They're going to give you crazy numbers. You've got to put some miles on in order for them to approach reality. I'm going to slowly drag on the brakes. Come to a full stop because we're good drivers. Look both ways. Creep out under electric power. Nice and quiet. And the engine kicked in really quickly. This is a 25 mile an hour road. I'm trying to stay off of it, but because this battery's kind of low, I think it's more eager to use gasoline when it needs to. Once we crest the hill right here, now I'm off. Car gets nice and quiet. I really got to pay attention on this road because it is super skinny, twisty, and if there's traffic coming the other way, you got to be ready for it because the ditches are kind of deep. As we're proceeding down this hill, we are regenerating electricity, putting it back into the battery. Hopefully by the time we get to the bottom of the hill, you'll see it creep up a good bit. And because it's 25, I'm not doing a full coast. I'm dragging the brakes to stay near the speed limit. I will tell you that I am over the speed limit for everyone says that I drive slow. Now we're into a flat here. So this is going to use some of that. You can see the power going back into the motor from the battery. It's telling us that our average MPGs at this point are 71.8. But you can take it all with a grain of salt. But you can take it all with a grain of salt. I'll have to cut that. But you can take it all with a grain of salt. Really nice, quiet ride. After spending so much time in this car, gotten a good feel for it. It's pretty comfortable. I like the seats a lot. We've got nice power lumbar. 4-way, I believe. Where is that little button? No, I'm sorry. It's just 2-way power lumbar. And we have seat heaters, which I haven't used. Seeing as it's the middle of the summer, gotta stay really tight to the side in case somebody's coming. And you see here, slow, hug shoulder. And that is really good advice. Really good advice. Not as much juice in the battery as I'd hope. We're still just a bit over half full, but hey, we'll get where we're going. Full stop. Nobody coming. We're going to creep out and try to not kick the engine in. Well, there's the engine. We did okay for a while. Doesn't seem to be as robust as some systems are. Toyota systems in particular. And we're going to drag the brakes coming up to the light here. Ooh, we got a green light. Okay, electric power across the first bridge. Speed limit through town here is 30. And the cops can be out there looking for speeders, so we're going to stick to that in town. We're 30 now, still under electric power. Got a hill coming up, and this is one of the tests. We're behind a Prius. Still under electric power, almost all the way up this incline. Excellent. Excellent. Did really, really well. Sometimes the engine will kick in. Sometimes not. And we're going a bit slower than normal here. 30 mile an hour limit, but the people in front of us are going slow. We're going about 25 right now. And the average fuel economy meter says 99.9. I don't know. We'll see. We're in a flat. We're still motivating along in our electric power. We've got another grade coming up here. And now the engine kicks in. It always does. Almost every hybrid, the engine kicks in on this hill. So we'll see that 99 come down. I just want to say that it's 80 degrees today. And when I run these tests, I run them with the AC off. And people will say, well, that's not realistic. You should have the AC on. Yep. I should run a second test with the AC on. But to be consistent across cars, and I've done many of these, I do with the AC off. If I have time, I do AC on, AC off tests, particularly on the highway. And I got to say that driving out to Pocono, I drove a bit faster than I usually drive. Drove with the air conditioning cranked, and this was a champ. Oop. Bam, hump test. A little too fast at 18 miles an hour. We're going to slow the next one down. These are some massive humps. Let's take this down to 15. Much better. Ooh, there's the engine kicking in. So yeah, I'm starting to get kind of hot in the cabin here, so I'm going to roll the windows down and you're going to hear the cicadas. That was about 12 miles an hour, nice and smooth. So I've got the internal microphones inside the Samsung Gear 360, and I've also got a Rode mic that's running into my old iPhone. I'm going to regen a little bit here down this hill. A little behind the scenes, right? Gear wise. Some folks like this 360 stuff. Some folks don't like it at all. What can I say? I'm trying something new. I've done 3 camera shoots for a long time with these. I need new cameras and mounts. So, hey, if you want me to do 3 camera shoots, we got to find a way to buy new cameras because YouTube just ain't paying. It's just not generating the revenues that it used to. So I've always resisted the Patreon thing. You know, I did a Kickstarter for the Ain't Fuelin' project to fund that specific project. But, you know, maybe I do a GoFundMe or something to get new cameras. I want to deliver high quality stuff. I want to keep you all happy. But 360 is a good way to do this. And get a creep out here. There's the engine. 360 is a good way to do this because it's one camera. You guys get a full view. If you look in the back seat, you can see the cool hats that American Ethanol gave us. The number 3 Austin Dillon hat that I just love. Look over there, man. Geese. How you doing, geese? This is what you don't get when it's flat, you know. You get like straight ahead, but I can have you guys look over there. See ya. Want to buy church? Okay, there's the engine. And the numbers are still pretty extraordinary. 89.9. Those cicadas are pretty loud, huh? 4-way stop. Engine kicked in there. Tried to ease away, but okay, down a hill, 25. A little bit over, and then we're going to regen. I'll put the windows up because it goes up to 40 here. It get kind of loud if I don't. We were coasting up the hill there for a while, but as soon as you lay into it, there's the engine. We're at a 45 mile an hour coast. The engine is still on. Foot's off now. There, the engine shut down. We're just coasting into this curve. Give it a little bit of pedal. Still coasting. Use some electric power. Now we're back down a hill. The other thing folks say is, it's not fair, you're only showing it downhill. Well, yeah, a lot of this is downhill, but we do have some uphill stuff too. And one of these days I'm going to run it backwards. That day could be today, if y'all wanted to watch it, because it would end up being, whatever, 50 minutes of me babbling on the back roads. You want to watch that or not? Now we're back down another hill. Juice is going back into the battery. sewer plant is putting in solar cells. That's a good thing. Yeah, so 360, you get to look all over the place. You don't just get to look ahead. You don't just get to look at me. You control the camera. I kind of dig it. Now, this is a Samsung Gear. Is it the first generation? It's not the newest one. I got a pretty good deal on it, which is why I picked it up. You're going to say, well, why didn't you get some new GoPros and mounts? Because I couldn't get GoPros and mounts for what I paid for this, and I wanted to experiment. Okay, I got a turn. Ooh, there's a deer. See the deer? Little baby doe. There's never just one. Okay, this is a long grade. It's not steep, but I can never get up this one in electric power. So right now we're at 96.8, which is extraordinary, and I really don't think it's accurate. But it is what it is. Gasoline engine is going to run all the way up this hill, just because. I'm going to stick to the speed limit, maybe a little bit more. 35 miles an hour. I'm doing 37. The engine is on, and you see that at some points it's pushing electricity back into the battery, and at some points the battery is working with the gasoline motor, so it's back and forth, and it's seamless, really smooth. This is a pleasant car to drive. If you need to cover a lot of miles, man oh man, the amount of range in the tank means you're not going to have to stop at the gas station very often, and when you do, you're not going to spend a lot, because the average is 50 from what I've seen. Just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. There are some folks that call this Niro a crossover, which I don't understand where that thinking comes from. This is not a crossover. It's only front-wheel drive. It does not have all-wheel drive. It really is a 5-door hatchback. You know, like the Volkswagen Golf, like the Ford Focus. It's not a crossover. It does feel a little bit taller, and if you look at it, I don't know, squint at it and you can say, what two cars does it kind of look like? I think it kind of looks like a cross between the Kia Soul and a Mini Cooper, because it's more squat than the Soul is, but still the backseat room, the headroom in the backseat is good. Oh, and the headroom in the front seat, check this out. This is a great car for tall folks. If you want to use as little gasoline as possible and you're tall, this is a good choice. Okay, into the turns here. Nice tight turns. Let's see how she does. Gotta watch out for these runners. Not too bad. A little bumpiness in the road there, but feels pretty good. This does not have a CVT transmission. It has a dual clutch, which in my book is cool. It also has a sport mode. If you're inclined for that type of driving, it's great. Doesn't have paddle shifters though, it's strictly slap shift. However, it's not fast. Off the line, pretty good, you know, in town. It's got plenty of scoot. Those electric motors kick in, you got enough torque, real nice. But when you're heading up to 60 miles an hour, yeah, not a speed demon. Normal usage, you're fine. You're going to get onto the highway just fine. But it's not a screamer. Okay, you can hear that engine still kicking in. Regenerating. We've got about half a battery left. Car's coming? No, no car coming. Not sure what's going on there. And we're going to go down another hill here. Right now we're at 70.2. Extraordinarily high. You know, Kia had some issues years back. A long time ago, quality wasn't good, and they had that whole fuel economy thing. They have made amends because this one delivers extraordinary efficiency. It has excellent tires on it. It's wearing Michelin's. So they didn't scrimp on the tires with this one. They used really great tires. I'm not sure if they all come with the Michelin's or not, but I do have a personal preference for tires, and I like Michelin's a lot. That's what I have on Slambo. Not sponsored by them, but they did sponsor the tires on Slambo, but I'm not sponsored by them overall. Michelin tires are excellent. You pay more for them, they last a long time, you get quality. Coming up to a stop. I could have braked earlier. 75.8. It's getting pretty hot in here. It's getting pretty hot in here. I got an idea. How about this? I'll get to the end of this run and do this whole thing with the air conditioning off. Then I'll do a second run. But I won't run the camera for it. Okay? I'm going to do a second run with the air on, and then I'm going to tack that just a little bit of video onto the end of this, so we get a comparison of, hey, here's what it did with the air conditioning off on this day where right now it's 80 degrees. I think it's headed up to 90, so it's going to creep up a little higher. When I get done with this, I'll do this a second time for you, because you've all been asking for it. I'll go ahead and do it. Ooh, long coasting to town, batteries on. We're looking pretty good. Pretty good. These are wider humps, so I can hit them a little bit faster. That was about 22. Engine is still off. We are just coasting. There's a slight decline here. Hey, you know what? I got an even better idea. How about this? How about I drive the route backwards with the air conditioning on, and then drive it the normal way with the air conditioning on? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Because I got to get back to the starting point anyway, right? Four-way stop. Ooh, the engine's on. But I'll just get right off. Numbers are fantastic. Just nutty. What do you think they are? You got any guesses? Last stop. Traffic is really light right now. It's just about 10 o'clock. So I wait until after rush hour to do these. So again, it's consistent. And we're going to pull in here, and I'll give you the final number. Any guesses? Huh? Come on, take a guess real quick. The number is 80.4. That's pretty nutty. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Shut the camera off in a second. First, I'm going to roll down the windows. Go into the park. I'm going to disconnect my my phone here. Make sure that this is okay. Oh yeah. So we got our audio on here. If it sounds okay, I might just use the internal audio. We're going to reset right here. And we've got about half a battery. Now, we rolled through this part pretty much under electric power coming down. This is fairly flat, but there is some tilt to it. And we're able to do this just under electric power. However, we're going to come up to that hill. That is going to negatively affect our efficiency. And it'll kick in the gasoline engine. This big old town car just likes to go nice and slow over the humps. He probably has a passenger in there that's getting charged an enormous amount of money to be driven around. Still ridiculously early on. I don't want to give you the exact number. All right, I'll give you the number. Right now it says 71.2, but because we're not even a mile into it or whatever it is, you'll see how quickly that drops when we climb this hill. Even though it's still getting higher as I'm driving because we're just under E-power. And at this point right here, it says 91.5. It's completely inaccurate because the distance covered is so small. All right, now we got a nice little climb here where it's impossible to use the electric power. So we're going to do this run backwards with the AC off and the windows down for the most part. When we start going faster, the points where we're at 45 miles an hour, I'll roll the windows up for aerodynamic reasons, also so it's not too loud. So we were at 90 something back there, right? We get to the top of the hill here, and it says 50.7. Again, short distances, dramatic effects. Even lower now, 45.6. So there you go. Hills have a lot to do with it, kids. Not that I'm pulling the wool over anybody's eyes. It's all about inertia, it's about gravity, it's about driving smart. Yeah, it says 47.1 now, but I'll tell you this. On the way down this road, it's going to pick up considerably. Because just like last time when we lost it going up, we're going to gain it going down here. sure what this truck is doing. Hopefully he doesn't just pull out. He's going in, don't pull out. Landscapers. Okay, so from this point onward, we should see a pretty dramatic jump in MPGs because of the short distance that we've covered so far. Speed limit is 35, and that's what I'm doing. You see the juice going back into the battery. I'll shut that window down because it's getting kind of loud. Do the other one as well. So right now we are just in a full-on coast. Energy is being regenerated into the battery. MPGs are headed up. We're about 3 miles over the limit. And we're up to 62.6. Now you can use hills to gain speed without kicking the engine on. We were at 30, speed limit is 35, I just took it up to 40. Touching the accelerator pedal lightly without kicking the engine in. Now I'm going to start dragging a little bit because I know my MPGs are only going to go up, but the more that I drag, the more regeneration I can get going. The more energy I can put back into the battery, better off we are. So I just drag the brake all the way here. Nice ease into the stop. Now our battery's starting to get fuller, but we've got some big hills to climb here too, so we're going to lose it. Let's wait till the traffic clears. Turn our signal on to be proper. We're not really using electricity here unless our AC is on, and for this run it isn't. All right. Just the battery. 20 miles an hour. Nice. Real nice. So we eased out really nicely there. And we got up to almost 40 without kicking the engine in. Our average fuel economy is up to 80.2. But because we're going to be headed uphill, gasoline engines using fuel, you'll see it drop again. Still 80 degrees outside. .42 on the way up the hill. Average mile per gallon mark 72.1. And dropping because we've got this stuff to climb here. Why people run on these skinny roads, I don't know. Okay, now we are all battery. We'll be that way for a little while. We're at 65.1. 35 miles an hour, right at the limit. Now this is one of those cases where you're down a hill and then you're up a hill. And if you're a gutsy, efficient driver, you can carry your momentum through. So reduce speed ahead. Tells us 25. We're at 40. We're going to let the hill scrub that speed. And regenerate a bit. As we come into the stop, drag the brakes. So we never had to get onto the gas at that point. Full stop. Creep away. Now that was odd. The engine kicked in. It was really easy on the pedal, but the engine kicked in. Another full stop with the four-way. Ease off. Engine just kicked on again. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And we are at 68.9. Full stop, creep out. There's the engine again. I don't really understand it because we've got a lot of juice in the battery. A lot of juice. Nice ride over that hump at about 22. No problem. I'm going to put the windows down here for a little bit. Man, I can't wait to take the next one with the air conditioning on. My life driving around in circles. Not quite as fast as my friends in NASCAR. .6, but we've got this hill to go up. And this is the road with the rather substantial humps. That was about 13, 14 miles an hour. Cruising through here just on the battery. Right, this is kind of indicative of in-town situations where you've got to slow down. Not stop and go, but you know, slow down, speed up, crawl. I don't know why they put so many humps on this road. I guess once they did it, they were stuck with it, right? Then it would be a municipal hump removal project, and that would cost thousands of dollars. They used to get a lot of through traffic on this road, so that's why they did it. And I totally understand it, because who wants to be on a busy street? Alrighty. 70 miles per gallon. We got the engine on. Again, this is another downward slope. I'll pull the windows up so it doesn't get loud. And we're pretty much gonna coast all the way to the river. .30-mile-an-hour speed limit. I'm doing about 32 right now. Wee bit of an incline here, but we're just going to roll right through it. All battery, all the time. Good stuff. Watch out for this person getting out of their car. Alright, now we're headed downhill. A little bit steeper. So because we've got this inertia going, I can drag on the brake a little bit, get the regen happening. Now when it starts to flatten out all it off, I'm just going to ride the coast. We're going to come up to the light here, we're going to go left. Still cruising under electric power. We are up to 77.2 miles per gallon. But when we take a right onto this road, this is the real skinny, curvy road where we've got the climb. And we're going to lose MPGs on the way up this hill. Okay, right now I am under battery power. Wow. There's the engine. So we got up the first bit of that with the battery. Just rolled through with inertia. Now I'm at 20. You can really hear that engine. There was a shift to second gear. And this is nice. I am actually on battery power right now. Going uphill on battery power. There's the engine. This is 25, so go nice and easy here. Put the windows down again. All battery, 74.3. We lost a little bit, but not bad. So I hope you dig this. You know, I'm always looking for different ways to do this. 360 makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. I think that folks that are evaluating a new car without going to a dealership are going to strap on the goggles and watch 360 video reviews because it's such an immersive environment. This not being a really high resolution camera, you know, yeah, we're at a disadvantage because it's not as crisp as I'd like it to be. But it's chicken or the egg. You got to build an audience. People have to get tuned into it, find out what's out there. You've got to create content. If there's no content, there's no people to watch, how does it ever get going? So that's why I'm keen on it. That's why I'm keen on it. Now, I could not do a conventional review of this for Auto by Tel because they'd already done it. And I thought, should I do a conventional review for my channel? And because this week was really tight, I just didn't have enough time. It takes so much time to shoot reviews conventionally. So the 3 cameras are good. It's just like this, but this is even faster because I got 1 camera and my post-production time is much shorter. Dropped a bit, we're at 64.7. And we've got just about half a battery pack left. Gonna roll the windows up here. Can't ease on the throttle on this road because, hey, it's a 2-lane blacktop highway. Someone when I come up behind you, they're not going to be happy if you're creeping. But what you do to save is you get up to speed, you get about 5 miles over, then take your foot completely off, bang, now you're gliding under electric power at 50 miles an hour. That's a beautiful thing. Shows 62.3. So, yep, there is a big drop, kids, depending on which way you're driving. Big, big drop. But we'll see that climb before we pull into the development up here. Just a wee bit. Lots of coast time. This is really great. The Niro is really great at coasting at speed. I'm impressed. Totally impressed by this vehicle. Might be an excellent choice to use for rideshare cars. So if you drive for Lyft or Uber, could be a good choice. Use a minimal amount of fuel. The back seat is relatively spacious for a smaller car. You know, it's got headroom. Here we go. Back where we started. 67.6, my friends. So is there a drop when you go backwards? Yeah. Physics, gravity, inertia, all that stuff. It all adds up. We're going to take one more trip, and that's going to be the normal direction with the AC on, because let me tell you, I'm sweating. Ready for this? 3rd lap. This is the normal direction. We'll call it clockwise. With the air conditioning on, it is now 82 degrees outside. And let's do this. I'll try to drive as efficiently as I possibly can with the AC on. I'm going to reset right here. You can hear that engine running. I'll get up to speed, and then I'll get into a nice coast. We get to the crest of this hill here. And watch out for the bike rider. Lots of people out running and riding bikes today. You can hear that lane departure warning. Okay, now I am off. We're just going to ride this coast for as long as we can until we hit the right turn up here. County fair's coming, kids. Entertainment, rides, and food. That place don't look really open. Bummer. Okay, we got 3 nuggets on the battery. Kinda getting low. We turn it right up here, and we'll put some juice back in the battery. Really nice ride in this, nice and smooth. You know, hybrids have that battery weight down low. It's a great thing. Kind of evens things out. Doesn't handle too bad either. Farm store. That's cool. They had their store out at this highway there, but they moved it back to the house. Okay, here's the engine. We're at 50.4. Somebody's got a fixer upper there. That's cool. 30 miles an hour. Real light on the pedal. So I don't know, should I put this all up as one big piece? I'm tempted. One piece, just gonna use the footage as it is, minimal editing. Just cut out some of my flubs. You know, you can watch this when you want to go to sleep. Can't go to sleep? Ride around with Uncle Dan and he'll drive real slow. See how many MPGs you can get. Well, to ride slow is relative. I'm doing 15 over the limit. And regenerating. And I'm getting, what is the number there? I'm getting the devil's mileage, 66.6. We can't have that. 70. Here's a van moving at a high rate of speed. Watch out. I love skinny back roads. Knock wood, I never get in an accident on them. My favorite are gravel roads. One day I'm going to drive in a rally. That is bucket list. I want to drive stage rally. Don't need to be the fastest. I just need to get there and stay out of the ditches. Stay on my tires. That is the dream. Real tight to the corner here. There we go. Good. You know, I have the most distinct sense of deja vu ever. It's the first time I've done this one. Not just 2 times, but 3 times in one day. One of them backwards. Okay, bottom of the hill, 88.3 with the AC on. That's lower than what it was with AC off, wasn't it? We'll see where she ends up. There's so many variables, you know, on these short distance tests. So many variables. Every time you step on the pedal, whether it's the brake or the accelerator, you introduce a variable. Infinite, my friends. Creep out here. There's a big truck behind us. So you can hear the engine's on, but I'm going to get the coast going right here. I think the last one we were engine off across both bridges. Let's see how high we can get up the hill with the engine off. And hopefully you're not getting wind noise from the vents. .35, we're still under electric power. That's good. That's really good. 1.3 it says. Okay, battery only. Let's see how far we can get up the hill. Speed limit is 35. I'm doing a little bit under, about 32, but there's a truck way behind us, so it doesn't matter. Here's the engine. When you drive the same route every day, you get a real feel for how the road works. And you begin to devise tactics to deal with it. Like, how can I get through this much less gas? I'm really lucky because I stopped commuting on a daily basis a long time ago. I work from home. I am blessed to be able to do it. I drive a lot, but I don't have to drive to work every day. Now, I commuted for decades, and man, it is tough. I'm convinced that I've extended my life by getting out of the daily commute. There were days, and the worst of it, where I would commute for, like normally it would be like 2.5 hours. Some days it would be almost 4 hours a day driving. Just not good. But I've also spent time commuting on the train, and I like commuting on the train a lot because for me it's kind of relaxing, and I can write on the train. I've even cut video on the train. So one of these days I want to take a nice train ride across America. That's one of my bucket list things. I did the auto train when I was a kid once. It was kind of cool. But I would like to go out west, you know, where there's incredible scenery. Okay, 83. Engine's kicked in. We are 1 mile under the speed limit at 24. And we are regenerating. We've got about half a battery. It's doing a nice job of battery management. At no point in this trip have I been all the way down. I'm pretty cognizant of it. Some people aren't. But I try to get my juice back in there when I can, so that you can exploit it when you need it. Yeah, I've just happened to be looking for a church. There is a beautiful little church over there for sale. The sign just went up. It's kind of odd. You don't see that often. It's the First Reformed. Well, the geese are still out here working on the lawn. .38, man. I've been out here for a while. I got an important call at noon that I got to be home for, so we're going to wrap pretty quick. 72.8 into the four-way. We're going to ease off. All right, we did that one with no engine. We'll do this one with no engine. Let's see how fast we can get going down this hill with no engine. one of my favorite games. Still electric power. Let's see how far we get up the hill. 35 mile an hour limit. I'm doing 34. Still no engine. Still no engine. There's the engine. It's that last 5 miles an hour sometimes that makes you kick it in. And we get up to 45 here. So I'm just going to get to the crest of this. You want to use the inertia, the downhill portions as much as you can. Okay, now I'm off. She's reading 74.4. And I'm coasting into this turn. Remember, we've got a bunch of downhills on this portion. So we'll pick up a little bit. We'll regen a little bit. We got half a battery. And we've got that long uphill stretch into the woods. For folks that have never driven a hybrid before, you know, the best suggestion I have is just go out and do it. If the dealer lets you take one out for an extended drive, that's awesome. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. The other ways that you could do this is you can rent one. And some rental agencies will have it. You know, I can't say any specific one, whether it's Avis or Hertz or Enterprise or Budget or whoever. They'll probably have hybrids. But one place that you can get a really wide selection is with Turo or Getaround, where people rent their cars through a car sharing arrangement. You're not going to find everything you want everywhere, but you may get a wider selection, so it's much more spread out. Other stuff about the car, you know, I haven't given you enough of a review. I'll do a written review on the website. Nice wheel, smooth leather. Could use a little bit more padding, to my liking. You've got the controls on the left here. You've got your Bluetooth and your multimedia controls. And over here on your right, you got your adaptive cruise. And then the center information display over here. Adaptive cruise is a great feature. I highly recommend it. When I go from driving a car that has adaptive cruise to one that doesn't, it always kind of freaks me out. But what adaptive cruise does, if you're not familiar with it, is it sets a distance between you and the car in front of you. You tell it you want to go 75 miles an hour on the highway. It keeps you as close as it can to that number while maintaining a safe following distance between you and the car in front. It's a great thing. Other technology, this has lane departure, so you hear it beep beep when I go over the line. I'll do that right now. Oh, hey, it didn't do it there. Maybe that's me going higher speed, but lane departure warning, great thing if you're not paying attention. You should always be paying attention. .9, we're behind a bicycle. And so right now we're coasting. Every drive is different. You get a situation like this, that affects your efficiency. For better or for worse, it depends. Solar panels on that house. A lot of solar here in New Jersey. I don't know where you live in the country, but some states are keen on it, some states aren't. New Jersey is one of the smart states that is behind it because solar creates jobs. Plain and simple. It lowers costs for homeowners. Overall, it's a great thing for the economy. If you live in a state that's an energy producing state, or you're producing natural gas or petroleum for heating oil. You don't like solar because you feel that it's taking away your jobs. Well, I can't really agree with that. Everyone has a choice on how they want to heat their houses. That's always been the way. You should have a choice on how you power your house. We're being followed by the police. Which is probably good for our fuel efficiency. Ooh, we got, oh boy. Runner and a bike rider, this guy is going into the, oh, go get him. Go get him. Guess he didn't realize there was a cop back there. You all get nervous when there's a cop behind you. I know I always do. Even when I'm not doing anything wrong, which I'm not doing anything wrong. But you just look back and you see the light bar and like, oh man, I just don't have time for this today, officer. Alrighty, we are at 68.4, considerably lower than the first, but let me tell you this, kids, it's gonna climb because we got this downhill run and I ain't gonna use much gasoline on a ride into town. Get a little juice back in the battery. We're just under half full. Alright, I got half a battery. Let's see how far that's going to take us. Nothing coming. Gotta ease off. Oh, come on. The engine just kicked in. I'm at 71.7. Alright. Let's just do this. Now the engine is off. We are all battery. Let's see if we can take it all the way into town this way. 70.9. How high can we get it? $35-mile-an-hour limit. That's what I'm doing. I've got all these humps coming up. Now these humps were made to be hit at 25. And there it is right there. Feels good. Real nice. Still have my microphone on, but I'm not using it. I caught just the first one with the mic. No problem. I got an hour and 10 minutes until my phone call. So this is actually kind of a surprise. We see some effect from the use of air conditioning, but not the amount that I expected. Here's the engine one more time. So what do you think? Got any guesses? Got a guess? Well, there's the engine one more time. And here we are at the end point, and the number is 76 miles per gallon. Boom, right on the nose. That's all I got. Thanks for watching this ridiculous extravaganza of backroad MPG stunt driving. If you like it, hit the like button. If you really like it, share it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. All that stuff. YouTube's been quite a ride. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll catch you down the road.